Hey everybody. Ooh, happy Sunday to every last one of you guys. In this video, we're gonna have us a serious math talk for today. Like a real heart-to-heart, realistic math talk. This math talk that I'm going to speak with you guys about is going to also help those who are doing my final project. And for those seniors who are trying to get their writing component out the way. All right. In this video, I will discuss what is mathematics, what teachers say about it, what's the saying, how it's done, and mathematics with Mr. Howard. Just kind of share these things with you guys. And again, this is just it. All right. Of course, one thing about Mr. Howard, he's about three things. Three things that you gotta do. You gotta due diligence, litigation, be about your business. I've been telling y'all that since y'all first met me. Due diligence. Of course, when I'm posting something in Google Classroom, that's your due diligence to be always in that Google Classroom, seeing what's up, what's good, what have you. Even if you are absent, you gotta provide that due diligence. Your litigation, when it comes to protecting yourself or whatnot, you gotta protect yourself. When it comes to, grades or whatnot and passing a felon, protecting yourself means that you got all the work that you did, you turned in so it could be time stamped and you could display that mathematical knowledge. So I know many of you kids think just sitting in the class is gonna cut it, but unfortunately that's never the case. Next, be about your business. What that means is just like as it sounds, be about it. But I know these three things and how I grade you guys. I grade you guys solely on these three things. That's what any teacher grade you on. I know you guys we discussed it with homework, tests, assignments, all this and the third, but it's essentially those three things. And also those are the three things in life that is essential. Due diligence, litigation, be about your business. You can't make it in this world without those three. And now you guys feel like you gotta figure it out and what have you, but you do not. Just yet. No one that age ever gets it figured out yet. So alright, let's move on. Alright, what is mathematics? Yeah, I heard this definition sometime now. Going back to February when we spoke about it. This definition that I use, which every mathematician uses, is essential and true. This is the definition of mathematics that you also going to have to be able to show me that you know about. So the correct definition of mathematics. I'm not talking about going to Google, because I know some of you guys go to Google, and copy and paste the definition of mathematics, which has nothing to do with what's going on. But this is the real definition of mathematics. There's two parts to it. The mathematic and the tics part is broken into two pieces. The mathematic means to explain, understand, and manage reality specifically by ciphering, counting, measuring, classifying, ordering. Let me say that clearly. Ordering, because I know my accent gets there. Inferring and modeling patterns arising in the environment. And the tics means the art or the technique of it. That's what it means. It means solely just that. Alright? And again, I will repeat this definition once more. and I go into further detail. To summarize, mathematics is the technique to explain, understand, and manage reality by ciphering, counting, measuring, ciphering, classifying, ordering, inferring, and modern patterns arising in the environment. Listen, what is this about? Well, the reason this definition is essential because, believe it or not, you're going to see this definition in your life when you grow up and you become adults. We don't use math. I much what I want to do ain't gonna use no math. Heard it, been there. One was at age I said the same thing, but in reality, everywhere you go involves mathematics. Every culture, every society use mathematics. Some use it to a higher extent than others, you know? I mean, that's essentially just that. So that's what you gotta keep in mind. Now, I give you an example of one. How I, as your teacher, use the definition of mathematics, or any teacher, not paying attention to what they teach, math, science, social studies, ELA, what have you, but we all use it the same way despite what we teach. So, bring this definition piece by piece and showing you how it is used. So again, the mathematics to explain it and understand man's reality. So, as a teacher, as an educator, all of us have the reality of teaching students. That's the reality. Gotta teach the students. That's the sole purpose of a teacher is to teach. You know? Now how do we do that? We as teachers, doesn't matter of what again content we teach. So we as teachers we don't cipher too much. If you not know what cipher means, I encourage you to go Google it and find out for yourself. Counting. Oh, everybody's count. Everybody. We all count. So, we count students, you know, count number of kids who passed, fell, all this, that, and the third. Measuring, you know, measuring your knowledge in terms of how far do you know, how much content do you know that was being taught to you. Classifying students in terms of their, skill level. Ordering them, we order them in terms of just, we don't really, I would say this for educators, we order a little bit in terms of placing students, organizing their scores. So that's how we order, just organizing scores, kind of put magnitude from, highest to lowest. So we do that. Inferring, when we infer, we come up with conclusions. And if you don't know what that definition means to infer, I want you yourself to go to Google Classroom and look that up. All right? But in a way, modern patterns. Here's the situation. Teachers don't really use modern patterns too much other than wherever we put in the grade book. That's how we modern the patterns arising in the educational environment. So what did you do? Your grades, how this, that, and the third. That's the pattern we model, Your grades. Grades is a dependent variable. It depends on the work you turn in. You in my class, mine the points that I deduct from behaviors. And those things in the third. So that is how a teacher uses it. Mathematics, again, minus the specifics of it, the specific content. So for example, now how to apply this term mathematics. Again, you who are my students, you are required to know this. Before you leave my class, you must know this definition. And you must be able to explain it and to apply to situations. the research that we have did up to this point, y'all, with the ladies from the movie Hidden Figures, from a bunch of other ladies that we researched, you had to imply this and explain this. Some of you have did exceptional with this definition of mathematics and explained it so well. And I'm gonna give those students a shout out. And I'm giving a shout out to Miss Janelle Parker of Algebra 1 and her group when they did their projects. Explained it so well. In Algebra 2, I would like to, give a shout out to Miss Bell, Mr. Bridgewater, and that crew who worked this definition and could explain it well. And another thing that I want to make clear to you guys, that yes, deeper mathematics does require for you to write. Why am I writing? This is a math class. All I gotta do is give you numbers. That's about 60% true. Well, 55% true. But the rest of it, you gotta put it in words. So 55 is still an F. So you can give me numbers, but you gotta be able to explain your thinking. The things that you guys get tested on the most, get tested, it's the explanation piece. All right? And especially to those who are not good test takers, because I know I'm not one myself to talk. I look for the things that if you could explain the piece real good, you good, you pass. So that's the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this. And yes, this is something that you will see again on a test, and you're going to see on the final. You have to explain and know what's up. All right. I want you guys to research a job or a career, and see about mathematics. And once more, I know you guys like, we don't use no mathematics. Well, a hairstylist who does hair doesn't use math. Yes, they do. Especially they're trying to get money. Anything that involves money requires some mathematical skill. And you talking about, after you finish high school, you're going to do hair, walk in Walmart, walk in McDonald's. Okay, that's fine, cool, whatever. But you have to have some mathematical knowledge. However, if you try to go further in the workforce, such as become a manager or something like that, there are going to be some instances, 100%, there are going to be some instances where you're going to have to write to explain stuff too. It's not an ELA skill, it's a mathematical skill as well. So please be aware of that. How I feel about if you got some good ELA skills, you could do math. All right? Again, let's not forget, I need for you to research the job or career and just look at it and see how the requirement of mathematics, take place. Nowadays, when you're trying to, get past jobs that are not minimum wage, you are going to be tested left and right. You have to take some tests requiring some math. You're just going to have to do it. Working at Albertsons, you're going to have to do it. So that's okay, well, let me do this, that, and the third. Otherwise, without the mathematical knowledge, I promise you this, without at least, keywords, at least, average middle school knowledge of mathematics, you ain't going to never make it. You're going to be stuck being basic, working those minimum jobs. And people going to pass you, so you need it. Everybody uses it, From the most populist businessman to the dope dealer and those people. And I know I shouldn't mention it, but even the dope dealer got to have some mathematical knowledge, So you need the skill. That's just it. All right. And again, I want you to research the job career and just to see for yourself. All right. All right. This next piece of important information is something very near and dear to my heart because one of my all-time favorite mathematicians of the current age comes from Italy. He's a philosopher and a mathematician. So, a philosopher is a person who pretty much just rationalize life itself. So, if you're interested in knowing about philosopher, which I encourage for you to do, just look it up and send me an email, and I'll throw you little bonus points. 5. That's all I could spare. Anyway, he is Ubi D'Ambrosio, an Italian mathematician. Anyway, he has a lot of stuff that I use in my teaching too. So, I feel like I'm a product of his in a way, a progeny. Ethno-mathematics. Oh, jeez. Another word. Oh my God, Miss Howard, we hate you. I know you hate me, children or students. So, ethno-mathematics is the study of mathematical techniques used by identifiable groups, culture groups in particular, such as endangered societies, groups of workers, professional classes, groups of children to a specific age group, and etc. In understanding and explaining managing problems and activities. Trying to make sure I get my camera to look at me. Look at me, camera. And activities arising in the environment. I'm sorry, y'all. My camera like to, try to get me on my side. And I ain't put myself together yet. So stop it, camera, or I will fire you. Anyway, this ethnomathematics. Again, this is helping you explain the definition of mathematics, which, again, Mr. D'Ambrosio is the person who coined it to what it is today, or how we think of mathematics. So, this ethnomathematics just helps you explain, how people use it, Students is a particular culture, You students, you belong to a culture of Estruma, the Estruma High culture, how you guys use mathematics, So, let's go into a further detail. Again, this is going to help you understand ethnomathematics a little bit more and help you with that precise definition of mathematics, which will make things easier for you. All right. Open sesame. I said open sesame. All right, guys. Here's a precise example that Mr. D'Ambrosio talks about in terms of ethnomathematics. He used two people, basketball players, and he talks about truck drivers. Two distinct cultures. Two distinct professional cultures, For example, basketball players estimate angles at distances different from truck drivers, They use the angles, but they, use them differently. I'm not a basketball person myself, so I couldn't really talk to you guys about that, but, geometry is there, with basketball. Anything with movement is geometry. Geometry is actually the study of movement or the study of the earth. And the earth is us. Anything on the planet Earth. All right. Getting back to this. Both professional basketball players and truck drivers are identified culture groups that use mathematics in their daily work. They have their own language and specific ways of attaining these estimates, and ethno-mathematicians study their techniques. So there is actually a profession called ethno-mathematician. So who knows, maybe I become an ethno-mathematician once I'm done with teaching. Kind of like it's interesting, really. So we shall see where it takes me, because I really want to, take it that far. Because I always like the history and stuff like that. Y'all know, because I make y'all do it. So here's another example of ethno-mathematics. So in finance or accounting, when we add and find sums of things and do mathematical work, we call that our figures, Our astronaut, okay, going back to the movie Hidden Figures, they have a term for their mathematical works, which I think they call figures too. See, the difference is how we use, those basic operations is different. One of us being the kind of using it on a lower level versus an astronaut who uses high level mathematics. So when I say here's my figures, that means here's my work. Here's my scratch work. So again, scratch work is more in the student world. That's your definition of it. So we all use scratch work, talk about it, but we use it differently from a student, from a accountant, from a astronaut. So that's just giving you a good example of how this works out. So what is math? M-A-T-H. So in grades K to 12, by some math teacher, if not any, you're going to get it from me. You know math to be as mistakes allow thinking to happen. The reason why Americans just don't do well in mathematics is not just I'm just bad at math. It's pretty much of a national struggle. Is because with mathematics, to get good, you got to get it wrong at first. I don't want to get it wrong. I got to get it right the first time. Ooh, Mr. Howard, I don't want to do this. Mr. Howard, is this right? This right, Mr. Howard? This right? Unfortunately, you're going to get it wrong before you get it right. That is how you learn skill. With mathematics, those mistakes do allow thinking to happen. For those who are working on my project, you're going to have to be able to, really bring this into a personal situation. Like, how did you learn mathematics? And again, mistakes allow thinking to happen. It's gonna frustrate you. You're gonna be stressed out about it. Some of you guys, when we talk about grades, what is the one grade that most students have the lowest grade in? Mathematics. Mathematics is the one that has the low grade. Because I know of seniors who got good grades in everything else, A, B, A, B, A, B, and then when it comes to the math, it's either a D or a C or F. And the reason why that B is because, look, you're not comfortable enough to make no mistakes. Or when you are comfortable with making no mistakes, you don't allow the thinking part to happen. So you have to make the mistakes, and you gotta allow that thinking from those mistakes to happen. So you gotta know what that means. For those doing my project, you gotta explain that piece. All right. Again, it's people who create mathematics. Let me tell you, it took them a while to get it right. Science. Those who do biology, all this and that and the third. Guess what? That's math too, baby. But the thing is about that, like these COVID vaccines, it took a while to get them right, but for some miracle, we got it right in a timely manner. So good to the scientists. All right? Good. All right, let's get to our last piece of this discussion. What do they say about mathematics or math themselves. Using previous material learned to apply to the new material. So that means, for example, when you going back to middle school talk about proportions, when you think of proportions, you go back to your elementary arithmetic and you talk about division. So you're bringing that previous material to the new material. All right? And then from my Algebra 2 class, when we was dealing with variance and standard deviation, we took it out. We had to use our previous skills of division to make that happen, and our place value skills to make that happen. So again, just because you don't know the skill, or what I mean is, don't let those mistakes that you make in mathematics, discourage you. Because look, people, I am walking proof of mistakes that I was thinking to happen. I came to college. I scored, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I scored it was a 17 on my ACT. I mean, I ain't gonna front, but I know no adults wanna, come clean about the ACT scores or anything like that and say, oh, we perfect, looking like Lena Evangelista. But I came into college, I was taking remediation math class because I was 1 point away of not being in it. So scoring the 18. 18, was, okay, you could be in normal classes, but you start off with those classes where they treat you like you slow. And I'm gonna tell you this, you guys, when I started, I cried. I know y'all want to hear, oh, Mr. Howard cried, boo hoo, or whatever you feel about Mr. Howard. But let me tell you guys, coming in, it was hard because I didn't have that very strong foundation. Because, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't pay attention to the pre-calculus situation that does cause me to mess up. I didn't pay attention to my geometry either. As a result, I struggled through the material. But with the hard work, because that's how I realized that, okay, math is not supposed to be easy. I got to work on it. And once I worked on it, guess what? Through a lot of struggles and frustrations and cussing things out, all this, that, and the third, I finally got what math was about, which again, struggles before the progress. Struggle before the progress. I know some people think, oh, some people could get it good, this, that, and the third. Even those people who got those mathematical skills, mathematics is so much more than what I think it is. It's not about just give me a number. You got to go a little bit further than that. And I'm going to give y'all a taste of it too so you guys can see, oh, it's so much more than that. Which it is. But again, people, it's hard. But when you work on it, and when you finally, get in that groove and motion or whatnot, you're going to feel good about yourself. And sometimes you're going to be a little bit egotistical too. So if you met those people who are like all egotistical and think of themselves all that in a bag of chips, well, in relation to mathematics, they become like that because of the stuff that they have endured. They get to the skill. So that means that those teachers who are true mathematicians, who got the mathematical background, are not here to just teach math because they've done some other profession that has little relation to the math, but those who did the pure mathematics, you're going to realize that's a difference. So at times, I'm a cocky too. I think I'm all there in the bag of chips. But the truth of the matter is, I'm like that because I went through the whole mathematical concepts. But the difference between me and most of those with the mathematical skill who, went through it all and who are cocky is because I know the struggles. I came from not having that skill to begin with. You know, again, with hard work and dedication, and having a point to prove. Many of you guys know my story. The reason why I wanted to teach here in Louisiana is to tell my story to you guys because, believe it or not, I relate to you guys fully. I relate to you guys more than anyone else. I've traveled to a lot of places, but I identify to you guys in Baton Rouge so much because I get where you guys come from. I get it. But let me tell you, my people, you know, by me sharing you my tale and telling my story, and even showing you my college transcript so you could see that, it was how I had it, that you could do it too. I just want to share just some people. And then after that, I thought I'd share my stories, got the kids who I needed to get through, and, pass on my legacy. I'm out. I'm done. But that's the reason why I am interested in teaching. My story must be told. So therefore, you guys could get inspired to do anything. Don't let this math phobia or math scare you away. The truth is, many math teachers probably, don't see math the way that it should be seen because everybody's so caught up on standards and not really getting to the truth of the situation. And that's the reason why there's always a big disconnect between teachers and students, especially when it comes to math teachers, especially the math teachers who don't have that true mathematical background. And this is not me putting down no math teachers who are teaching. I mean, to be honest with you, be grateful that there are teachers here who wanted to teach. So let me make that clear, and let me clear up once more. I'm not bashing no math teacher. I am not. I just want you to understand the difference of certain type of math teachers. Even those who don't have that mathematical background, but who want to teach you, you really should show appreciation to them for wanting to do that. All right, so let's get that clear out the way. Make sure no one don't feel, oh, he's bashing math teacher, which that's not the case. I'm only speaking from my perspective only. But once more, my students, it's hard. It is. You gotta put in the work. Just like life itself. Life is not easy. And I know many of you guys, parents told you guys this. Life is hard. Life is, pain. Life could be pleasure too, but before the pleasure, there's pain. A lot of fight, a lot of struggling to get to where you gotta get to. Like Frederick Douglass said, without struggle, there's no progress. So, that's pretty much just it. I wanted to share that with you guys. And this is, again, help those who are working on a project or who want to hear some interesting tidbits. So, again, people, take this, work with it, run with it. I promise you, students of Extrema High in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, you're going to become something good. You may not never have that mathematical skill, but you know what math is. And you're going to get far with it still. All right? And again, I'm honest to the ball. But I always will help you guys out. But this is what I want to share with you guys. And that's pretty much just it, y'all. Just that. Use this in your research. I'll be posting more good research that I found that you may want to look at to kind of help you guys out. And remember, those who are doing my project, you want to make sure you paraphrase the information you found and make sure you copy and paste the links at the end of your paper. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to me. I know I'm chilling in my robe, in my in my little kitchen area of my home, my house. But thank y'all. Have a good one and take care.